This is raspberry mocha. I don't like anything real sweet. And I put an extra shot so it's not sweet at all. If you're home, I just drink.
Is it cool or does it just make
I order it on
that ice
Amazon
cream?
and I do the.
Probably from the ice
The
cream.
heat's on 70. And it's so smooth. He says when he wakes up in the morning, the whole house smells like pancake syrup.
It does because I
cold
have
when there's no sweetener in it.
because I have an addiction to pancakes. It's hard. She makes this
Strong.
coffee that smells like blueberry
Yeah, I drink
pancakes.
that at home almost every night.
So I'm in there itching.
Except I have 5.
Gotta have pancakes.
Do y'all still go to
Ice in
IHOP?
it, it would
Y'all still go to IHOP
Every once in a
every
while.
once in a while?
I usually go to Denny's.
Me and Anthony both.
IHOP to me is at least the one by our house is a ripoff.
Is that the one on Air Depot you're talking about? Yeah,
We've had more bad experiences there than we've
My
had good
son-
experiences.
yeah.
What do you call them? The K-Cup
You
machine.
need a cushion,
Sorry.
put behind
Just
your back.
broke like a month before Christmas, so I already bought
No, I'd
the
go to
Christmas
sleep
present, so I
about
wasn't gonna
one
get
foot
anything
behind
else.
the back.
Well, that's
Like,
what
they
that's
can't live
for.
without it. So
No,
I bought
I'm
that, and
fine.
their
I
favorite
just need to
coffee
move my
is,
hip around,
and it's an Italian coffee, so I
move
ordered
the
them,
bones a little bit.
2 boxes each, because she drinks
Sorry.
the lighter one, he likes the dark one. So I ordered them both full boxes. They were like, I thought you wanted to get us more.
2 cats coming.
Well, if they're at Chickasha, they're not
They
far
were
from here then.
pleasantly
One
surprised
right there and
for
there's
Christmas.
one on the other side of Bub's car.
They were
Sure, it's a
so
big
happy.
fat cat, ain't it? Somebody's feeding that one.
Cause it's out front, so you
Well,
can't
theirs
shoot
was
it.
broke every week. They come over and bring the kids over.
Underneath the car, look.
Ooh.
I go in there and they grab my Keurig, and I always keep regular coffee for them because I like my pecan coffee. But
Oh,
And I got
if I have
Pushka coffee
time,
and
I need to
everything else
go
in there,
to Nissan and get that touch-up paint for the hood
Up there
of
in
the car.
Illinois, you
too.
This
call it
weekend,
pecan or
Yeah.
what do they call it up
if
there?
we
I
have,
call
if you
it
have
pecan,
time,
but he
yeah.
says,
I've had a lot of
It says
different ones that people
It'd
like
have to
green
be
coffee.
Monday.
It's a regional
I
thing I've
usually
noticed.
only order-
To
because I
some
order
places
those
it's
every
normal
once
up
in a while.
there.
what's it called here?
I have
Pecan?
Pecan.
I think that's
Mountain
what
Dew
I've
is what's
always
called
known
the
it.
brand,
That's what
but
Mom says.
they
Is
have
your
different
parents called
flavors,
pecans?
and I like the blueberry and the pecan. And right now, I like the pecan.
But would you have said a pecan if it hadn't have been for her?
Yeah.
She grew up here calling
Right.
it pecan. I've heard of people calling it pecan,
So it's like really
pecan,
amazing.
and just plain pecan. I've heard all
He calls it
three.
pecan.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
That's why I like it.
You know what
It's
a
a regional
pecan
thing.
is?
They
Huh?
both-
You know what a
he says he can't
pecan
tell the
is?
difference in the smell.
What? Where you go urinate
It's
into
a big old
can?
can you
That's
use
also what I
instead
like
of.
to order, so when people say, "Oh, that's new coffee, you
I
gotta try it,"
figured
so
that's where
I'll
you were
scream
going.
them online. Because they're so expensive, you know. And everybody
Oh,
has
that
Keurig.
was
We can
nice.
have them at work. We have Keurig machines at work. so-
You know, like in Oklahoma, when you throw a
And I
rock,
smoke them in my purse, so if I want
people
some,
here
I'll
say,
have some at work, too.
chunking
I
it.
have one every morning when I'm
But you go to
I have
other
one
places and they
when
say
I'm winding down for
you
bed.
chuck a
I have
rock.
coffee for
Yeah.
bed.
CHUCK.
Oh,
And I was down in Arizona once
Makes me
and
worried if I don't have it.
said, talking about chunking something, and they started making fun of me. And
That
there, that's
We
chunk.
call it
my
skipping
brother
rock.
is autistic.
Yeah. So yeah, it just depends what. And my entire life, I've always heard this phrase,
They
"Jewing
said
somebody
that
down."
give him coffee before he
Never even crossed my mind that had anything to do
I'm
with
talking about
Jews.
speaker.
I made a
Give him
comment
coffee.
to, was talking to somebody in Phoenix, you know, and I was mentioning about
So maybe I have ADHD.
judging someone down the price, and he goes, that offends me, and I'm like,
Me and my
What?
best friend, we both drink coffee from the time
and he
we
said,
get
I'm
up
Jew,
to bed.
I'm Jewish,
Doesn't
and I'm like,
affect us. If I don't have any at
holy
night,
cow.
like if
The
I'm,
first
like,
time it ever
really
snapped
stressing to go to
in
sleep,
my head
I'll
that
make me some coffee. I
Jewing
think
someone
it's
down
something
was referring to Jew.
And if I drink it,
I never even thought of it that
like,
way.
I don't even.
that's not the way I see it though.
But I just thought it was I didn't ever thought of it as J-E-W. I just thought it was just some
No,
country phrase you say, and,
yeah.
you know,
It
like,
just means you talk them into lowering the price. That's
Like
all it
every-
means.
like everybody around here, everything's broken all the time. I'm fixing to do this and I'm fixing to do that.
Yeah,
Well, you go other places and they don't say that,
yeah.
I'm going to.
you know.
Well, I'm
That's
always
my-
chewing them down at yard sales.
Ask my dad what it is that you use what do you do when you go in the bathroom?
I'm afraid to
What are
ask
you
him
sitting
that.
on?
A toilet stool.
Because around here, toilet stool is the common phrase
And
to
when you're
use.
driving, you're pushing on the foot feet.
I had never
Yeah.
heard that till he said it once in our marriage.
Well, when I was in the Air Force, I was telling a guy from Long Island, New
Gas
York,
pedals are foot feet.
about the toe sacks at home, you know, and they were laughing about my dad wearing overalls. And they thought, oh my gosh, is that the way they dress in Oklahoma, overalls? And then I mentioned toe sack, and the guy started laughing. He said, what is toe sack? He said, and I described what toe sack was. He said, oh, you mean burlap bag. In New York, they call them burlap bags, and in Oklahoma, they call them toe sacks.
Or flour sacks.
Yeah.
Like potato sack?
Mhm.
In Oklahoma, and we called it burlap bag too. I didn't know what that was when you were saying it either.
And toe-headed, snow white hair.
Yeah.
Okay,
Just
some
use
people's clothes
different-
aren't very white, so
What do
I
you
don't know why
call
that is either.
What do you
Different
call those
terminology.
things that come in a little can about this big and they're short little weenies?
I'm not gonna say it because I already know what your dad calls them.
My whole life I thought that they were Vienna sausages, but they're Vienna sausages. But I was made fun of when I'd go other places for calling it Vienna sausages.
Yeah.
all I
That's
ever
what
heard.
I've always called it.
You know
And I
what,
was
my,
22
you know,
before I knew it was okra instead of okra. I was looking in the grocery store and I'm
Me
like,
too.
they're spelling that wrong. It's okra.
I always thought it was okra too.
you know what
Did
my
I
mom,
know?
how my mom
I said
said
it
fresh?
yesterday when we were in the
Fresh.
car. Or was it? No,
Yeah,
it was when we got
my
out of the
mom would say
airport.
fresh for fresh.
Our first dinner party as a married couple in the Air Force had a couple over, had a beautiful dinner. I didn't have any dessert, so I said, "Hey, everybody, I'm gonna go to the store and I'm gonna get some Napoleon ice cream." So, and everybody's like, "Well, what's that?" I'm like, "Napoleon ice cream, you know, strawberry, chocolate, vanilla." And they're,
That's what
they're
Mark
laughing
calls
at
it
me.
too.
They were laughing at me, and I'm like, "What?" And they're like, and Bud's like, "It's Neapolitan." And I said, "I have said that to our whole marriage, and why have you never corrected me?" Because it's really cute. And I'm like, that is so embarrassing to go in public and not know what I'm talking about, because that's what my family called it, was
That's what Mark
Neapolitan.
calls it.
Napoleon.
Napoleon ice cream.
Yeah.
That's what I called it my whole life that until I looked at it one time and see how it was really spelled. Neapolitan.
Your whole life was a lie.
When
And there's
I,
no such word as nuclear.
when I was in
That one
high,
makes me
high
crazy.
school, the neighbor down the street,
Oh.
Newell's,
Yeah.
she was born and raised in Alabama, but she, you know how she said afraid? I'm afeared. I'm afeared for afraid.
And
So-
people say fraidy cat. I never heard of fraidy cat. To me, it was scaredy cat.
I've heard of both ways my whole life.
What about
Or cattywampus. Your dad says that.
Yeah.
What the heck is cattywampus?
I don't know. I've never heard of
I
that.
heard a wampus cat.
What do you think? That's weird.
Probably all
And my
sorts of stuff.
grandma Popejoy called electricity,
He's not
that
talking.
twisted.
I didn't know what
Well,
I
no,
was
Chris,
saying.
Like
you don't know it's weird until someone points it out to you.
Yeah.
And if everyone in your circle says it, you don't know it's wrong.
We didn't raise our kids to say any Oklahoma phrases.
But if you're a kid
because
and that's
we
all
didn't
you've
want
heard all
to be
your
made
life,
fun of, raised
that's
around
all
the
you
world.
know, you know? You
The only
grow
thing I
up.
wouldn't change is Coke. In Oklahoma, everybody calls all sodas Coke. And I'd say, "Hey, everybody want a Coke?" "Well, no, can I get a Dr. Pepper or Sprite?" "Well, that's what I'm talking about."
I still do that at home sometimes.
And I still call it pop.
Well, I was in
Yeah.
Toka one day. Diane took me to lunch at a pizza place.
Yeah.
And that was about the time that Paul found out he was allergic to Coca-Cola. And I told Diane, I said, "Boy," I said, "he was drinking a lot. He was using a lot of that Coke. Man, every head in that place turned and looked at me." And I said, "If he hadn't quit drinking Coca-Cola, he'd probably be dead now." And then they all just went
Yeah,
back
they
to what
first
they
thought
were
it was
doing.
cocaine, because she called it Coke.
Yeah.
Blowing everybody's eyes, or
Yeah.
raised up.
Well, Boston,
And
they call it
I
tonic.
do. I think if
Tonic.
he hadn't quit drinking that, it'd probably killed him.
But they
I
thought
mean,
she was
his
talking
body
about
was staying
cocaine,
dripping
because
wet
she's
with
calling it
sweat.
Coke.
He was having hallucinations, and he was a nervous
In
wreck.
Arizona, they refer to them as sodas.
Sodas.
They do that up north too.
Huh, it's funny how they,
Everybody I know
I thought
says
that's
it's
what you
pop.
mix with Coke.
Yeah, I refer to them as sodas because, once again,
When I was a
being
kid,
in the
it was always
military and
soda
being from
pop.
Oklahoma, you get accused of sleeping with your sisters and you're weirdos and you're a bunch of back hills
Well, I would
hillbillies.
rather have my Oklahoma
So-
accent back now after being gone for so long.
So I had to fight that my whole time in the military, and I tried my best not to sound like a bumpkin.
well, this
Yeah, I don't
this
really
guy
care.
room next to me, he was from Fort Washington, Long Island, New York, you know, and boy, I started talking about toe sacks. He started laughing and said, "Toe sacks? What's that?" And I described it, and he said, "Oh, burlap bags." But it's funny how people call things different names.
Mom, I almost.
But,
Yeah.
I love to hear Mama talk. I just love it.
If I could understand her sometimes. Some
yeah, you
days
know,
I
how
couldn't.
you remember how she said Omaha, Nebraska?
Omaha, Nebraska.
Yeah, she called it Omaha, Nebraska.
And her big pot was a stewer stewing pot. She called it a steer.
Yeah, steer.
Steer has two handles. A pot has one.
Yeah.
All right, Uncle Bud, you
You guys
gotta take
have-
this quiz.
Hey,
You guys,
Danny
you guys
Mike.
ever play on jungle gyms, or what'd you call them?
Monkey bars.
Yeah,
Mine
monkey
called
bars.
We call them monkey bars
Yeah.
growing
Call
up.
Monkey
them jungle
bars.
gym.
Really? I've heard both.
Yeah.
But
Monkey bars.
growing up, it was monkey bars what we heard. But now I think
Teeter
one
totters?
sounds normal. Yeah, teeter totter or a seesaw.
Yeah, seesaw, that's the one we call it.
That's what I call them, seesaw.
What? I'm sorry, you had a test?
Yes, we have a quiz. This is supposed to be a regional vocabulary quiz. How would you address a group of 2 or more people? You all, yous, you lot, you guys, you uns, yins, you, or y'all?
Y'all.
I would say you all.
You all? Okay.
Yo.
I never use the word y'all ever.
All
Back
right.
here they say y'all.
Hold
In
on,
California
I'm
they
doing
say
it.
you
I'm
guys.
doing Uncle Bud and then I'll do you. Hold on. What do you call the small freshwater lobster
Barney's mom
often
used to
found
say
in
yen.
lakes and
Yeah,
streams?
yeah.
Crawfish, crayfish, craw, crowfish, crawdad, mudbug, or I have no word for this critter, or other.
I'd say crawdad or crawfish.
Which one comes first?
Since I don't eat them, I don't know. It don't matter. Crawdad, I guess,
Okay.
is probably what I heard when I was a kid.
That's what I call them.
He used to get a beating every day for playing in the
Crawdaddies.
creek.
Yeah. When we were kids, that's what we call them.
Okay,
used to-
how do you pronounce?
Put a piece
Well,
of
I'm
bacon on
gonna
the
say it
string, drop
wrong.
it down the
Well, I
carpet,
say
hold it,
caramel,
go
but
up, grab it.
it's with 2 syllables, caramel, or 3 syllables,
Yeah.
caramel, or I use both pronunciations interchangeably, or I use both pronunciations, but the 2 have different meanings.
Caramel.
With 2
Caramel.
syllables? Okay.
hmm
All right. What do you call the small gray bug that curls up into a ball when it's touched?
Roly poly.
Well, growing up, we call them roly polies, but they're sow bug. They're, yeah,
They're called what?
sow
Listen
bugs.
to all the options you have. Pill bug, doodle bug, potato bug, roly poly, sow bug,
Roly-poly.
basketball bug, twiddle bug, roll up bug, wood louse, millipede, or centipede.
Roly poly is what we call them growing up.
Okay. What do you call the small road parallel to the highway? You know what I'm talking about?
Access.
I would call it a service road.
Okay. And you call it access road. This is so funny. I should have
Every-
sent this link to everybody. We all just take it on our phone.
Everyone here will call it an access road.
You
But
call it a
I
service
call it
road.
a service road
Okay.
because that's what the correct name for it.
They call it a frontage road up there.
What do you call a sweetened carbonated beverage? Soda, pop, Coke, tonic, soft drink, lemonade, Coca-Cola, fizzy
Soda.
drink, dope, or other.
So
Pop.
Coke. I'm
I
just
used
gonna
to call
send
it
everybody this. You guys can all take
I've
it.
taken this test before.
You have.
I've had
I
people
have.
send it to me.
How do you
I
pronounce
used to
the
call it
first syllable of a person who defends you in court?
First,
You mean the law?
Boy or flaw? Like rhymes with boy or rhymes with flaw?
Oh, lawyer.
So
That's how I
rhymes
would
with flaw?
pronounce
Okay. I think I use those interchangeably.
No, I always say lawyer.
How do you
Lawyer.
pronounce?
I've heard people say lawyer, but it doesn't sound normal to me because it's not what you hear around here.
Scumbug to me.
Yeah.
How do you
Scumbag.
pronounce crayon? With 1 syllable rhymes with man. Crayon.
Crayon is how I would pronounce
Crayon.
it.
Crayon. No, it's
Uh-huh.
crayon.
Becky grew up calling it crown.
I did.
I've heard a lot of people say all 3, but
I called it a
crayon is what
crown.
I've always called it.
All of y'all do. Your dad does too. And he pronounces color as collar.
Well, he pronounced a lot of things wrong way.
Even as a kid, I called them crayons.
I thought I was a crayon.